Alright, good morning. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Alright, so today's lesson is going to be short because it's a review. We are going to be doing solving equations. So scholars will be able to solve equations in one or more steps with at least 80% mastery. Make sure you are writing these notes down because tomorrow you are going to need them. So let's go ahead and start with a simple one-step equation. Let's have 26 equal 8 plus x. Remember, when we're solving equations, the object is to get the variable by itself. Therefore, I am going to have to move what is next to the variable. This case is a positive 8. I need to move and make it a negative 8. Now that I have x by itself, I go ahead and simplify. 26 minus 8 is 18. So x equals 18. You should always check your work. So in order to check your work, you have to plug in or substitute the value of the variable. In this case, x equals 18. So I'm going to put 18 right here where x goes. And now I want to make sure that this side of the equal sign equal that side of the equal sign. So 8 plus 18 does equal 26, so that means our answer is correct. All right, let's look at another example. All right, x minus 7. In order to get x by itself, I have to do the opposite of the minus 7, which is a plus 7. So 13 plus 7 is 20. So x equals 20. And then we also have to check our work here. So I have to plug in or substitute the value of x, which is 20, where it would go here. And I want to make sure one side of my equal sign equals the other. So 20 minus 7 is 13, and 13 does equal 13, which makes it correct. So let's go ahead and write these steps down. The first thing is to draw your river. Then we want to identify variable. And then I want to move what is furthest away from the variable using the inverse operation. Remember, the word inverse means opposite. Once you move it, you're going to just simplify it. So do whatever it is, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, whatever you need to do. Alright, so let's go ahead and you can take a look at those. You can pause this video for those notes. If not, let's go ahead and move on to a two-step equation. Alright, so the two-step equation that I have here is going to be a over 4 plus 2 equals 6. Alright, so now we're going to draw a river, and we're going to move what is furthest away from my variable by doing the inverse. So that's a positive 2, so I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. And I'm going to bring down a over 4 equal 6 minus 2 is 4. Now I'm going to multiply 4 on both sides because I'm trying to get rid of this 4 so a can be by itself. And I'm going to bring down a. It's now by itself. 4 times 4 is 16. And then I'm going to check my work by plugging in 16 where a goes. So if my original problem was a over 4 plus 2 equals 6, I'm going to put 16 where 4 would go. I'm sorry, where a would go. Over 4 plus 2 equals 6. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 plus 2 equals 6. And then 4 plus 2 does equal to 6, and 6 equals to 6. So that would be correct. Again, that is a two-step equation. And I'm going to give you one more. So 9x minus 7 equals 7. In this case, I still have 2 steps to do, but I do not have a fraction. So I am going to add 7 on both sides, and I'm sorry, this is supposed to be a negative 7. I'm going to add 7 on both sides because this is a subtract 7, and bring down my 9x. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Now, 9 and x is being multiplied with each other, so the opposite of multiplication would be division. So I am going to go ahead and divide both sides by 9. That'll cross that out, and x is now by itself. 0 divided by 9 is 0. So again, I have to show how I check my work. And I am going to substitute my 0 where it will go for x. So 9, and I'm going to put it in parentheses because remember it's being multiplied, minus 7 equals negative 7. I'm trying to see if this side equals negative 7. 9 times 0 is 0, so I can cancel that out. Negative 7 does equal to negative 7, so that is correct. Alright, and the last problem that we're going to look at here is a multi-step problem. Multiple step problem can be 3 steps, 4 steps, or whatever. It's just a numerous amount of steps that you have to do in order to solve a problem. So let's go ahead and look at this last example. Alright, so the object here is still to get the variable by itself. Right here we're going to have some distribution that we have to do. We cannot combine what's inside of the parentheses, being that negative 6 has an x and negative 3 don't. So let's go ahead and do distributive property. There is another way that you could have done it, but we're going to go ahead and stick with distributive property. So negative 4 times negative 6x will give me positive 24x. And then negative 4 times negative 3 is going to give me a positive 12. And I'm going to bring down my 12. And now we are going to go through the same thing that we would have gone through before by moving what is furthest away from the variable, which is 12, and it's a positive 12, so I'm going to subtract 12 and bring down 24x equal 12 minus 12 is 0. I'm going to now divide both sides by 24. And remember, anything divided by a number, when 0 is divided by a number, it's still going to be 0. So 0 divided by 24 is 0. So let's go ahead and check our work. I am going to substitute x equals 0 into this original equation. So I'm going to write it over here. So negative 4 times negative 6 times 0 minus 3 equals 12. Let's go ahead and handle what's inside of parentheses per order of operations. So we have negative 6 times 0, which equals 0 minus 3 equals 12. And then 0 minus 3 is negative 3 equals positive 12. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. And 12 does equal to 12. Alright, so please go ahead and stop this video. Make sure you got all of the problems written down just in case I request your notes. You have some problems on Delta Math. There are only 6 problems for you to do. Make sure you do all of them. And you also will need to do the exit ticket if one is posted. Please also make sure you are doing your work with fidelity. Even though we are not in school, that does not mean that you need to be getting any type of answers or assistance from your classmates. I understand that this can be a very tempting time, but your education and your ability to solve mathematical and algebraically is imperative because you will be going back to school at some point. So keep that in mind. I love you all. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. myself or Miss Cruiser. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Love ya. Mwah.